I'm from many places. I was born in Greensboro, North Carolina, but I'm from Plainfield, New Jersey, the home of the P-Funk City and the music capital of Jersey, in my opinion. Well, you asked me whether we decided to choose music. Actually, music chose us. We were born into music. That was just part of the culture at the time, and raised up in a family of music from whenever I can remember. It was always music in my house. Back in the day, it was gospel music. Growing up in church, listening to all the gospel groups. Dad singing. In his group, he sang in a quartet group. Mom, she sang with the choir, and then she had a singing group. So we were always around music. So it was just part of our lives. It was not a decision. It was just a natural evolution of the Boyce family to just be involved in music. The way my parents influenced us musically was just being there for us. Like I said, we grew up in the music business from day one. When I say music business, probably that's the wrong terminology because we grew up in church.
Oh, we'll make it by my God's grace. I tell you, I want to see that city so bright and fair, bright and fair. Oh, after we have run this race, I want to see Jesus face to face. I'm telling you, yeah, we are going to a better place. Oh, thank you, Lord. No more getting up on Mondays. No more waiting till Fridays to get my pay. There'll be no more bill collectors knocking on my door from day to day. Every day will be Sunday. Oh, we're gonna find a better place. I'm telling you, yes, we're going to a better place.
And in church, of course, it's music. That's part of the culture, especially in the black music culture. So we just grew up in that environment, and it was always singing and praising the Lord. And we used to go down south, relatives down south, both South Carolina and North Carolina, and it was just nothing but singing, just pure singing all the time. Professional career. Well, when you say professional career, probably, well, that's a hard terminology because, I started playing guitar and singing with a gospel group, the Happy Land Gospel Singers. We started out singing with our own group named after my dad. He had a group, though I wouldn't call them professional, but they had a lot of professional groups that used to come to their programs when they did anniversaries and things like that. And it was called Workman Circle in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And they would bring in groups like the Dixie Hummingbirds. One particular group that I really enjoyed was the Alpha Omega Singers out of Texas. So we were around professional groups, even though we weren't considered professionals at the time. But the professional groups were just around. So we were all involved in that culture, Now, from a professional standpoint, I would say the Soul Seekers, who originated out of New Orleans, Louisiana. However, they moved to New Brunswick, New Jersey, and that's when we got with them. That was probably around, I'm saying 64, maybe, somewhere in there. So they would be actually the first professional group we actually got with. When I say professional, recording and doing it on a recording level and being around all the professional singers of that time. The original singer, and I say singers because the main lead singer was Reverend Marion Hanna. At that time, he was Marion Hanna, who became a minister. But he was one of your top singers during that time. I can remember as a a young boy around 1959, which I was maybe around 11 years old at the time. Yeah, they had a hit record called Sleep On Mother, I'm Serving the Lord. And of course, his sidekick, who was the lead singer with him, was Cornelius Underwood. And I can remember waking up on Sunday morning and listening to WNJR and listening to the all the different quartet groups and all the singers. And of course, I won't leave the lady singers out, like the Caravans and the Davis Sisters and all of them. And we used to listen to them on the radio. And that was just the way it was. Sunday morning was just music. Before we went to church or before anything, it was music on the radio.
Yeah, get that. You gotta get that.
And look, you know, I told him about, hey, so how you doing? Good to see you. I'm fine. You know what I told him last night? His daughter walked up and I said, "Daughter, if it ain't Richard,
It's Joe.
and look the same way, just like it look like Frankie, man."
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I think Denise look like Frankie.
huh?
I think Denise look more like Frankie than Rich.
Who's that?
The daughter, his daughter.
You should see my daughter.
Frankie looked like my mother.
My youngest
Yeah.
looks like Uncle Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, his daughter looked like Frankie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say your uncle was some kind of a guitar player. One night we were singing and we stopped singing and the folk were going crazy. That nigga had his feet up on the guitar player. Get out of here.
And how old was he at the time?
17,
And see, that's
He was
what.
as you was, I don't think.
Right.
He was young. He was a good guitar player at an early age.
No, he's in his 30s.
Huh?
He's 30 something.
38.
He older than Frankie was then.
Yeah.
Frankie about 17.
Teenagers.
And see, that's what blew my mind at how young y'all were and what y'all were doing.
You heard him say y'all now.
Thank you,
All of
You know,
y'all.
now, when I first saw Richard was the tallest of the three. JoJo, Frankie, and Richard. They were stashed there.
Yeah. I tell you, when you listen to Parliament Funkadelic, and Lenny actually put me onto a lot of the history of the Soul Seekers. Parliament, you could tell that they listened to you growing up.
Wait, George
You
Clinton.
could hear that
You see how my hair waved right there? George Clinton did that.
the process.
That's George Clinton used to process my hair.
That's
He
right.
came into the Apollo to do it. I'm about the only gospel singer I know had his personal
Personal hair done.
And they was like, what is this Negro got George? Well, they didn't. George Clinton wasn't famous then.
Right.
Yeah.
Stand up and testify.
You want to talk about the Soul Seekers? I'm going to tell you what happened. See, Rich and them are a lot younger than me. Not a lot younger, but they're younger than me. And when we went to Fort Myers,
When y'all
went to
Florida.
Miami. And we were
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. And we come back. Remember, we stopped in that, I'll never forget the name of the town. It's Conwell, Georgia.
So good job.
And we stopped you, Cozy, and somebody. Wasn't
Junior.
Y'all got out and going into the restaurant, and the man come out of there. Hey, we don't serve niggas in here.
Oh, he said it like that.
That's what he said it.
Wow. Just like that.
Yeah.
Well, see, I knew, but they didn't know. They young guys. They saw
Right.
I knew
Hungry, man.
Huh?
I was starving. We were starving.
Oh, you wanted something to eat.
Yeah, man.
I know you want to put some hands on somebody that call y'all the N-word.
Let me tell you.
State Troopers came?
Yeah.
White folks wasn't going for bad. They were
Right.
bad.
Right.
They'd kill you.
Right.
Drop them out. White man, this fool Avenue got in there. Made me sing like Hank Williams. Larry wrote a song and then I thought about it. I said, I yodel like a white boy. That song we sang.
Yeah, he heard it. It won't be the church's fault.
Yeah.
Church for I yodeled like a white boy. White folks scared me into yodeling. I mean, it was a rough. We were going through. Well, y'all were very young then. We were going through the place where they killed Emmett Till.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Mississippi, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a week or 3 or 4 days later. So
Junior from around there.
huh?
Wow.
Junior from there.
Junior's from there?
Who?
Junior.
Well, Junior was in it. Because Junior made Blake cry. Because come to the gas station and Junior and a half street went, fill it out, Blake, nigga, you're trying to get us killed. Holler at that white man like that.
Yeah, no.
Oh, man. I was in Mississippi when the cop came. I said, all you niggas, y'all get off the street.
Wow.
Look like it could have been one of these.
And everybody leave, right?
Right.
You
I
didn't,
didn't see nobody on the street.
you didn't ask who we calling?
Hey, I sure wasn't on the street. I don't know what. I know the rest of them was in the house with me, so they were mean, man. Like they be Frankie.
Huh.
And they didn't know it, but I pulled his hand up. You know how Frankie's hand was?
Yeah, well, that's how I could tell too.
I pull it. They had the glove on.
Yeah.
I think from their time, I pulled that glove off. I want to make sure it was Frankie. Frankie had them hands that he had wide on the end of the wide, like like little chunks of meat.
Like mine.
Yeah.
So Frankie was worse than yours.
Yeah, I know his fingers were worse than
It was
mine.
real big.
Yeah.
Only you play?
I bite my
I was nail biting.
Yeah.
Frankie wasn't though.
Frankie's hand was like it because he used the guitar. Flat. I said, no wonder. They must be taking pictures. I saw something flash.
I would love to get a picture of y'all three together if we could.
Okay.
I tell you what, there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old man, I gotta go pee first. You talking about what Richard got on? You got old man shoes on?
Yeah, I like them.
What you got
Look
the
there.
P&G?
I'm sharp.
Yeah,
No,
they sure.
I got on the patient playing field. I don't ride.
I like the color too.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. I like that color.
They were imitation wing tips. They know
Yeah,
real.
they look good though. You can't tell when you put them on your feet. George Clinton dressed like you now.
And he cut his dreads.
Put a tie on now.
Tie on, hats, ties, everything. Suits, regular hat. How I connected with Boogie Marson. Of course, he went on to become famous with Parliament Funkadelic. But probably known Boogie Marson. He's probably one of the more person that I've known all my life. I knew Boogie Marson in Manville, New Jersey when he was a little kid. And at the time, it wasn't, I don't think he played at the time, but we all grew up in Manville, New Jersey. And so I knew Boogie and his brother Larry and his brother Duck. And that's where we first knew Boogie Marson. Like I said, that was in early 50s. That was in the early 50s. Like I said, I was probably, 7, 6, 8 years old, maybe somewhere in there. And Boogie and them, of course, they were little boys at the time. But that was my first encounter with Cordell Boogie Marson. Yo, Boog.
Peace out. Funk with you. You let me and then G was next. Last chorus.
Are they crazy or what?
Most definitely. Oh, yeah, right.
That's Spain. Boogie Cordell Mawson, instructional guitar playing. Sing it, man, like he was doing.
Everybody getting funky. We're funky all through
Yeah.
the night. Everybody getting funky. We're funky all through the night. They come to party with me. We want party. Check this out.
Gary started Chop Time. Well, you know, his dad actually, the way I connected with Gary Star Child Scheider was through his dad. You know, his dad used to sing with my dad in the Carnation Singers, and he was over our house all the time. And matter of fact, he's probably one of the first persons I saw even play a guitar was Mr. Scheider. So through Mr. Scheider was, of course, the connection with Gary. And of course, when Gary got a little older, he started coming around the house, and you know, and the rest is history. Gary ended up playing with us and you know, being our guitar player. But my first encounter with Gary Scheider was through his dad, and then we just became tight from there. We just became friends. Of course, he and Boogie Moss became friends, and that was the rest is history. Well, the history between Boogie and Gary, of course, you know, they both went on to become members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Do it. I ain't gonna remember that. I'm talking about put it on here. Okay. You want to put it on here, right? It is. Another mix? Yeah. Watch. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Feeling that. Yeah. Feeling that.
Admirations. They actually played with us with JoJo and the Admirers, and then we changed the name to the Admirations. And they were our musicians because we had a singing group and we had a band. So when me and my brothers and Rochelle Urey, Billy Johnson, when we went all out front to do our routines and dance and what have you, we would get Boogie and Gary and Michael Lewis, of course, and people like Langston Booth on drums. They would back us up. And then once they did that part, we would do the band thing. Then we would come in and we would play, and we would do dance music with our instruments as well. The connection with Bernie Worrell was, I remember meeting Bernie back at the barber shop. I didn't know him at the time, but the real connection with Bernie was actually when he got with George and them. I guess that was in the late 60s, early 70s, and he was hanging around with George and them. So I got to know Bernie really well through Gary and Boogie, and of course, Billy Bass and all of them at the time. So that's really the connection with Bernie, and then we became, pretty decent friends from that point. Eddie Hazel was around the barbershop during the time, and of course Eddie, we got Eddie to play in our group. Eddie was our guitar player at one time, and he would play with us. And I can remember Frankie showing Eddie how to play chords and what have you, and Eddie Hazel he was always a good guitar player. And of course when Frankie and Eddie met, they just gelled together and they would play together and just have fun. And I remember when Frankie died, Eddie sent a card with a guitar pick in it and said love. And I wish I had that pick today. He went out with George and he became a monster guitar. And unfortunately he died December 23rd, 92. But anytime they was home off tour, they always play with me and come by. And this particular night, the night that was done there, I had went up to this club called Mr. C's. When I got there, everybody said, "Man, Eddie's looking for you." I said, "Really?" I didn't even know he was in town. So I remember I said, "Eddie wasn't by here." I said, "Man." I said, "Well, I rode around, I went back to Mr. C's. And somebody said, "Man, he just went to your house looking for you." So I went back home. When I got to my house, it looked like half a playing field was in my house. Glenn Goins. Well, of course, we got drafted into the military, Frankie and I, and we had tragedy. Frankie was killed in Vietnam. And when I got out of the military, of course, I needed a guitar player. I had contacted a record exec, Ron Mosley, who was very influential in our lives from the early 60s. And he called me when I got out of the military, because at the time I was pretty devastated over Frankie's death. But Ron Mosley was working with this group out of D.C. called The Presidents, and they had a hit record out, 5, 10, 15, 20, and they needed some backup musicians to back them up. And of course, I was going to get Charlie Rivers, but at the time, Charlie Rivers was in school. So I remember seeing this band, and I think the name was the Ambassadors or something of that nature. And I saw this young guitar player, and we got to talking, and I told him what was going on with the professional career of the Presidents and all. And he was interested, and we hooked up, and we just became like brothers, and just went from there. Yeah, we just kept going, and of course, Glenn became my guitar player. We ended up forming Cabinet after the Presidents, and we ended up forming Bags together, which was a very popular group in Jersey at the time during the 70s. The band that I started with, it was me, my brother, myself, and that was me, Frankie, and JoJo, my brothers. And we met, I'm not even sure how we met Rochelle, probably through Frankie. But Rochelle, and he knew a gentleman, Billy Johnson. And with Billy Johnson, Rochelle Urey, myself, and Michael Lewis on the drums. And we were called, at the time, we were like I said before, we were JoJo and the Admirers. But then we decided to change the name to the Admirations, which we found out later on there was a group called the Admirations. So we were in the process of changing our name, but that's how the group got formed. And the song that we did is called Moonlight.
Tell me that
That was for the whole label, and that was it was released. It didn't do a whole lot. It played in the New York area, and it's kind of ironic because the day Frankie died, January 20th, 1969, Moonlight played all over WNJR all day. And just the sad part about it, because I heard it on the radio, and I said, why did it have to take my brother's death for them to play the record the way they did that day? Moonlight played on that radio, Moonlight, which was written by Frankie, as well as the flip side was both written by Frankie. Actually, I say Frankie produced that, even though we were young and didn't realize what we were doing, but he actually wrote the music and the arrangements and all. The only difference on the flip side, and it funny, was they added horns. All the arrangements was done before we even got to the studio. Frankie had already made the arrangement, and those are the arrangements that are on the record. Jerry Ragavoy, again, Ron Mosley, he's a record exec. Ron Mosley was with Buddha Records at the time, and Ronnie was setting it up to be our manager we were going to be working with. And Ronnie Mosley introduced us to this gentleman who owned the Hit Factory by the name of Jerry Ragavoy. So we went in the studio, and that was 1967, I believe. After we didn't do anything with the whole label, we got out of that contract, and we ended up going over to the Hit Factory. And at that time, Jerry Ragavoy was working with Warner Brothers, and when Ronnie introduced us to Jerry, he really liked the way we sound. He liked our sound. He liked the way Frankie played and sang. So we ended up recording during that time. We recorded in 1967. We recorded songs like I See a Cloud, I See a Cloud, Have Mercy. There were several other tunes that we recorded that I actually forgot about. That's how we got started with Jerry Ragavoy at the Hit Factory around 1967, maybe even 66, but I believe it was 67 with Jerry. Yeah.
And what was the name of the studio?
The Hit Factory on 48th Street at the time, the studio, and it was very popular at the time where we got our start as far as recording.
And would you say he's the one who built it? He's the first one to build the Hit Factory and name it the Hit Factory?
As far as building a Hit Factory, from what I can remember, he was the owner of the Hit Factory. Now, I don't know all the history, but I mean, during that time, he was the owner of the Hit Factory, yes, in New York. And at that time, the Hit Factory was very popular. I mean, people like Dionne Warwick, B.B. King, Marvin Gaye, a lot of musicians. I met Bob Babbitt at the Hit Factory, people like Leon Pendarvis, who went on to be on Saturday Night Live. And just a lot of musicians came there, which we had the pleasure of meeting during that time. What inspired me to play? Again, that goes back to the question of the music. We were always around musical people. So when we went to the gospel program and saw the musicians playing and all, in fact, I can remember one of the first times I ever saw a bass player was at a church called the Old Ship of Zion in Englishtown, and the Soul Stirrers were there. Soul Stirrers are famous for Sam Cooke, and they had a bass player, and I was mesmerized watching this guy on the bass. That's the first time I had actually seen a bass guitar up close, and that kind of, I guess you could say, got me interested in wanting to play the bass. But during that time, I was still playing guitar, which I wasn't very good. We were recording with Jerry Ragavoy, and that was around, I'd say, November, October of '67. And we were, working on to put a release out. And at the time, like I said, we were recording I See a Cloud. We did Have Mercy, a couple other songs. I remember we did one song called Candy Candy, which I don't know whatever happened to it. I think that was written by either Jerry or Ronnie. But around '67, we were recording, and then we signed with Jerry. I believe it was either in January or February of 1968. We actually signed a recording contract to go on to do some things with Warner Brothers. But what happened was we got drafted on Frankie's birthday, March 30th, 1968, which was a Saturday. My mother had received the letters. She went out to the mailbox and got the letters. And it was draft notices for Frankie and myself. And that's where, I guess you could say, that's when things went downhill from that point. Because we ended up, after we found out we were drafted, a recruiting officer called us and said that he was interested in talking with us. He had heard we were musicians. I don't know how he heard about it, but he had heard that we were musicians, and he said that he could possibly get us in special services. So we listened, we went and talked. He even got us in touch with a sergeant at Fort Dix. We went down to Fort Dix, talked to the sergeant there, and everybody assured us that, we had a good chance to get in special services. So we ended up joining. We joined thinking that we were going to get special services. And we ended up going in the military. April, of all days, we went in the military, April 15th, 1968. Of course, JoJo, little brother JoJo at the time, he wanted to go and get his musical career out the way. So he decided to come in a month later, and so we all could get out around the same time to continue and pursue our musical careers. But of course, Frankie was killed in Vietnam, and that was actually after we got orders for Vietnam. That August, we both got orders to go to Vietnam, and a choice that had to be made between the two of us. And it was pretty devastating, and Frankie saw my reaction and how I was, I couldn't adjust real well. And Frankie saw that, so he decided to go to Vietnam instead of me. And he went over there, and of course, the ultimate thing that he was killed over there. Some of the places I performed and some of the crowd. Well, if I say gospel, I don't like to say perform, but I know that's part of the culture. But I can say some of the programs that we did as a professional gospel group with the Soul Seekers was one of the places I can remember was the Boston Arena in Boston. And I mean, you named every group in the world, I think gospel group was there at that program. One of the largest programs I can ever remember. And we were pretty young at the time, but it was just fascinating to be on programs with your major groups that you only saw on TV or on the radio, things like that. So more radio than TV, but and then we sung at the Met, the Metropolitan Theater in Philadelphia with the Soul Seekers. And then, of course, when we were with the presidents, Glenn Goins and myself, Michael Lewis, we performed at the Apollo Theater. I've been to the Cobo Hall in Detroit, Michigan. I performed at the Rosebank Theater in Bermuda. I've been to the 20 Grand in Detroit. I mean, I can go on and on. Just to name, I performed in Ronnie Scott's in London, England. Just out of the top of my head, I've been around. Yeah, Henry's Lounge in Detroit, Michigan. I performed at Bowling Green College. Yeah, so
A lot of too many to name, huh?
too many to name. Oh yeah, I can't even remember all of them now. I did a short stint with the Manhattans. Of course, I mentioned the presidents at the time when I got out the military. I was with the presidents. They had their hit record 5, 10, 15, 20, and that really got me back into the music business again. And then around 70, I believe it was 73, I did a tour with the Manhattans. And how I got that tour, I always like to tell a story. I was driving downtown Plainfield one day, and this policeman, Steve, who I knew, went to school with, he was directing traffic. And he saw me and he pointed at me and he told me to pull over. And I'm thinking, oh man, what does he want me to pull over for? I pulled over and had to wait until he got relieved because he was directing traffic right there at Watchung and Front Street. So he came over to the car and I'm wondering, oh, what does he want? I didn't know. And he said he had went to, I can't remember the name of the club, but he was at a club in Harlem. And the Manhattans were performing, and they had made the announcement that they needed a bass player. So he thought about me, and he gave me the number, and I called him up. I think it might have been Richard Taylor. I forget which one of them. It might have been Blue Lovett, but one of them. And I auditioned for the Manhattans that Monday, and didn't know I was going to get the gig or not because they had several other bass players there. Some of them were dynamite. But I got the call that Tuesday for me to meet them in Birmingham.
Sound like camera, down here.
What's up, man? Sorry to hear about your brother, man. Sorry to hear about your brother, man.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Andrew Bryan. His brother just died. See, I still know folks on the street. Oh, that's where the barbershop was right here. Yeah, the barbershop. Yeah.
In that lot.
This is Brown's. This used to be called Brown's.
The Browns is down here now.
Well, he had his store is here. That's his store, but that's his shop. But this was the block, man. Right here, this is where you didn't hang at. This was probably one of the worst places. This was the worst place in Plainfield. Right here. Right here was bad. Tommy folk, everybody, that's where they hung out, right here. This was like bad. Everybody hung on it. Back in the day, everybody hung on it. You didn't walk down here. I used to avoid this corner.
Keep on walking and go to the barbershop, huh?
Yeah, I'd go 3rd Street. But by that time, they wouldn't bother me. This was the block right here. Right down on 4th Street.
So Eddie Hazel.
see a cloud from where I stand, yeah. It reminds me of something, yeah. I just don't understand. Listen, every time I look a little closer, I see a pretty face of a girl I used to know. But now, and in these days, I see a cloud of a brighter dazzling with a love that's here to stay. I see a cloud. Oh yeah. Look a little closer, and you're going a better way. Yeah. Look a little closer, and you see a brighter day. Oh, I see a cloud of a brighter dazzling with a love that's here to stay. I see a cloud. Oh yeah. In the sky. Two, three, four. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Beautiful birds are singing, coming in my ear. Oh Lord. There's a ray of sunlight. Everything is clear. Oh, yeah. Beautiful birds are singing, it's coming in my ear. There's a ray of sunlight. Now everything is clear. It's gonna be a new day. Yeah. The sun is here. Yeah. Sounds of people waking. Oh, the sound is coming near. Here beside you, everything is clear. It's gonna be a new day. Yeah. The sun is here. Birds are here. Sun is shining. Everybody's here. Yeah, sun is here. Sun is here. Birds are here. Everybody, yeah.
You can't put your man pop, baby.
Hold on. Let me take this plate.
Okay.
1,
Yeah.
2. So how far y'all go back?
Man, I knew knowing your dad since he used to live on Dow Avenue. When he had the band. The bags.
Wow. How was the bags? Was the bags the joint?
Bags was the hottest thing out here. I was learning how to play when your dad was playing. But you should hear me now.
Marcus, man.
What's up, man? Craig? How you doing?
Craig, yeah.
You should hear me now.
Sound of people waking. Oh, it's coming near. Oh, my dear, it's a new day. Sun is here. Birds are singing. Sun is shining. Yeah. Sun is here.
What's up? What's up? They having a good time over here.
I know you're a doctor. Oh, hallelujah. Care of me. You never lost the key, Lord. Take care of me. I'm begging you, Jesus. Oh, Lord, thank you, Lord. Care of me. Take care of me. Oh, Lord, take care of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord is with the Lord. I stand when it's time to cross the chilly river. Got my feet on my trembling hand. All we need is a little practice. Hey, Denise. You don't sing?
No, I wish.
You don't sing? No.
I wish.
I'll try, but
Who sings? Oh, yeah.
a little piano. A little.
This is where all my talent went.
If this ain't Richard, this is Joe. I mean, Frank.
She said you ain't mine, you was Frank.
Shit.
We see
Huh?
You see her?
Really? I don't mind.
Styling and profile.
You have to say what you what's the name? Oh, you don't bother me.
I see you.
Really, I don't mind. I don't mind. Try to stop me. Try to stop me. Like my brother.
Those are the time.
Most of the time. Me thing to say don't make me feel bad. Never lost a friend.
Omega Lynette Randleman. It's my first time in Jacksonville, and it was good to see my family that I hadn't seen in quite some time. Spoke to them over the phone, but I really haven't seen them in person. And there was no way I was coming from vacation that I wasn't going to stop in and see my family.
That's right.
And in doing so, we went out for brunch.
Yeah.
I sung with a group, which was Alvin Darling in Celebration, which we traveled around, and I was part of Celebration. From there, I sung in a military band that was traveling around while I was in the service over in Germany, in choirs. I've done a lot of backup singing in different choirs. Not too many of, I would say, places where I went and didn't have to sing. Or if they knew I could sing, I wound up supporting and helping. Our group, we helped different people such as Dorothy Norwood. We sung some songs behind her. We've been on concerts with different gospel greats down through the years. It was nice, I can say. Band-wise, I just had fun, really. Just traveling around and singing. And I love singing karaoke. My daughter can sing.
She can blow. Our whole family can sing.
Yeah.
This isn't your first time in Jacksonville, neither.
No.
I got the poster.
No.
There was a poster back in the 80s.
In the 80s.
With you, Donna, Pookie.
Me, Donna, Sharon.
Oh, Sharon.
It
That
was
wasn't
Sharon, me,
Sharon.
Donna, Sharon, and Mom.
And your mom, yep.
I think we were the Randomans.
The Randomers.
The Randomans singers, and
Yep.
we were traveling with Mom, and we
Got the
sung.
flyer.
We sung here years ago.
Yeah.
We had a tight home. The Boyces,
The Boyce brothers.
cousins. The Boyces, we used to go to Plainfield all the time when I was growing up. Their grandparents their parents basically was my aunt and uncle, and it was my grandmother's sister and husband and all, and we used to always be in Plainfield. I have old pictures where Dad was in the backyard, had a guitar like he was playing with my uncle and everything, and being around nothing but music. That's all I knew. We stayed in Plainfield. Every time I turned around, we was in the car driving to Plainfield, and always at Auntie's house, always hearing the music. I had a crush on Glenn, one of the guys, when I was young. You know how when you're young, Glenn Goins. Oh, God, I had a crush on him that would wait. It was something, you know how the young girls crush. I thought he was the finest thing.
So did you get to ever listen to them gig in the basement?
Yes, all the time. Yes, music was, if you didn't play music in Plainfield, something was really wrong. Plainfield was the happening spot. You had like Clinton, I think it was George Clinton would always come to Plainfield.
He's from Newark.
They were from Newark and they lived in the Weequahic section, but they would always be in Plainfield, in somebody's basement, somebody's backyard, or if there was something going on in the park, but you knew, or even at the school, but it was always music. Stuff was written. It was not, that's what kept us going. We didn't have a lot of, even during the riots and everything, was always music. This got us through. It was such a quiet spirit, but he wrote some beautiful music. And to hear him sing, it was heavenly. Especially when they harmonized together. But what was so funny to me was everybody heard their R&B music, but nobody got to hear them in the basement when they were singing gospel. My dad, mom, they all be in there just singing away, and the harmony was natural. It was just natural harmony, natural. Nobody went to school. It was just a natural God-given gift. And that's what I remember, how he wrote music. And when I heard it, I was like, who wrote that? And it was him. But I was I was young, but I understood music. I wound up going to school for music. Graduating from Arts High, I majored in music. I auditioned and I got accepted. I was in the honor chorus and everything. So that music was embedded in me from going to Plainfield, listening to him write music. And I went in the military behind him and cousins. I was just following in their footsteps. I did my military time, and I sang in the military band and traveled around. It was what I learned.
So as far as when Uncle Frankie, you were old enough to remember when he got killed in Vietnam and the impact?
Yes. It affected the family very strongly. We weren't prepared for it. The stories that I heard was that he went over, instead of his brother, he went over, and then when that happened, it just devastated everybody. We weren't prepared for it. We were waiting for him to come home, and we celebrate his life. We celebrate his music. I go visit the wall in Homedale and I put flowers there. It's just certain things you do. He was just a gift. And I feel like he's watching over us and just been waiting for us to do our thing. Because he always said, be somebody. Do something with your journey. You know, make something of your life. And he wrote it in his music. When he played, he put it in his music. When he wrote the Army song, I just miss him. As a young kid, yeah, I miss him, but I know his legacy lives on in all of us.
one to turn to, no shoulder to cry on. But listen to this. For all you got to do, have mercy. When your woman is split and gone, you lie awake thinking, where did I go wrong? And still you reach out and try to hold her, but no one's there, and the feeling gets colder, and you feel like you're 50 years older. You pick up the phone, hang it right up again, take a deep breath and you count to 10. You say, keep cool, don't be no fool. Maybe she'll be back again. Yeah. And when you turn on your TV set, watch a late movie, try to forget, and you get hungry, but there's no eating, because you know your baby been not cheated. Your mind and your body defeated. You open the door, look down the street, close it once more, and your eyes that leave. Get cool, don't be no fool. Maybe she'll be back again. Yeah, keep cool, don't be no fool. Maybe she'll be back.
I'm that bitch right here. What up, bitch? Represent. What's up? What's up?
Plainfield in the building.
In the building.
Building
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my man Rick. Shout out to everybody.
That's that beat funk right there.
Walking it out
Yes,
right
sir.
now, you know? That change?
Yeah, that's dope, man.
To the C sharp. Can you hear the A?
Oh, this gonna be hot right here.
Make that change. Right here.
Yeah, right.
When I found you, I felt my hope in your arms. I knew this love was a gift from above. When I found you, I found love. When I found you, I knew you were the one. When I found you, I said I will keep you forever. When I found you, I knew you would be all mine forever. When I found you, I found love. Oh, I know true love sounds crazy, but worth waiting for. You are the one and only, forevermore. When I found you, I found my fate in your arms. When I found you, I found no cause.
Grew up with his dad, Billy Garland.
Like to meet some guys who was with Frankie, you know. Yeah, hopefully. How you doing, Richie, man? Welcome home. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is it, man. Doesn't seem like 14 years ago.
Hey, there he is.
I got me an orange patch, man.
Hey, let me show you something.
25th. Seems like just yesterday, you know, because I'm thinking about him every day. My brother and I were drafted the same day. We went through the same training up until orders. We got orders to go to Nam, both of us. And that's when we were home. In fact, we stayed home like 3 weeks, you know. And we didn't even talk about it till like day before the last day. And he said, his words were, hey man, if you didn't have a wife and kids, you'd go. You got a wife and kids, and I'm gonna go. And that was it.
Every day will be Sunday. We'll find ourselves a better way. I tell you, yes, yes, to a better place. Let me tell y'all, no more going to school to learn what the writers have already said. No more robbing and stealing. We don't have to live in our house. No, we don't have to live there. Every day will be Sunday. We'll find ourselves a better way. I tell you, yes, 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 we're going to make it.